The first alien ship had fallen, and with it, something inside humanity changed. Fear was still there. The destruction had not stopped. Cities were still burning. Families were still suffering. But now there was something stronger than fear. Belief. For the first time, humans believed they could win. Across the world, that single victory spread like fire. News channels repeated the footage again and again. The moment the alien ship was hit, the moment it fell, the moment everything changed. In underground command centers, leaders stood with new energy. "This is our chance," one of them said. "We don't stop now." And they didn't. Plans were expanded. Attacks became more coordinated. Scientists and engineers worked even faster. Every second mattered, because now they knew the Dominion was not unstoppable. In research labs, the study of alien technology continued. Captured fragments, energy readings, shield patterns. Everything was analyzed. And slowly, humans began to understand more. "Their shields are strong," a scientist explained, "but not perfect." Another added, "They rely too much on predictable timing." That was their weakness. The Dominion trusted their systems too much. They believed no one could break them, but humans were different. They didn't follow rules the same way. They tested limits. They took risks. They made mistakes and learned from them, and that made them dangerous. Soon, new strategies were created. Instead of direct attacks, humans used distraction. Multiple small strikes, false signals, unpredictable movements. They forced the Dominion ships to react, and when they reacted, that tiny delay in their shields appeared again. This time, humans were ready. In the skies above Earth, another battle began. Jets moved in fast, drones followed. Missiles launched from hidden locations. The Dominion ships responded as always, calm, controlled, confident, but something was different. The attacks were not coming from one direction. They were coming from everywhere. "Multiple threats detected," an alien officer reported. "Focused defense systems," another replied. But it was already too much. The timing broke. The system hesitated. And in that moment, humans struck. One ship was hit. Then another. Explosions filled the sky. For the first time, the Dominion fleet was pushed back. Back on Earth. People watched in disbelief. "We're doing it," someone whispered. "We're actually doing it." Hope turned into energy. Energy turned into courage, and courage spread everywhere. In hospitals, doctors worked without rest. In cities, volunteers helped rebuild. In bases, soldiers prepared for the next fight. Everyone had a role. Everyone mattered. Humanity was no longer divided. It was united by one purpose: survive, fight, win. High above, inside the Dominion flagship, the atmosphere had changed completely. This was no longer a simple mission. It was becoming a problem, a serious one. Commander Zarek stood before the High Leader. "They are evolving their tactics," Zarek said. "They are no longer reacting. They are predicting." The High Leader's voice was cold. "They are still inferior." Zarek did not agree, but he remained silent for a moment. Then he spoke carefully. "If we continue to underestimate them, we will lose more ships." The room became quiet. That word, "lose," was not something the Dominion was used to. One of the commanders stepped forward. "This is impossible. No primitive species has ever challenged us like this." Zarek looked directly at him. "Then this is the first." There was tension in the room, but the truth was clear now. Humans were not weak. They were unpredictable, and that made them dangerous. The High Leader finally gave a new order. "Send reinforcements. More ships, more firepower, more destruction." The Dominion was done playing. But on Earth, humans were ready. They had expected this. In secret locations, new weapons were being tested. Not stronger, but smarter. Devices designed to disrupt alien signals, tools to confuse their targeting systems, methods to create false readings. Humans were no longer trying to match alien power. They were attacking alien logic. And it was working. In the next battle, the results became clear. Dominion ships began missing targets. Their systems showed incorrect data. Their reaction slowed. Confusion spread among their ranks. "What is happening?" an alien officer demanded. "Our systems are not responding correctly." Zarek watched closely. He understood. "They are interfering with us," he said. "They are inside our system." That realization was dangerous, because it meant one thing. Humans were no longer just fighting the Dominion. They were learning how to break them. Back on Earth, another ship fell. Then another. Each victory made humanity stronger. Each loss made the Dominion weaker. The balance of the war was shifting, slowly, but clearly. And for the first time, the Dominion felt something unfamiliar. Uncertainty. Commander Zarek stood alone again, looking at Earth, the same planet they had once called weak. Now it was something else. A challenge. A threat. A mistake. "They were never the prey," he said quietly. They were something else entirely. Below him, the planet continued to resist, to adapt, to fight. Humans were not the strongest species. They were not the most advanced. But they had something the Dominion did not fully understand. The ability to rise when everything was against them. And now, that ability was changing the war. The turning point had come. There was no going back. Because from this moment on, the Dominion was no longer hunting. They were fighting to survive. And humanity was just getting started. The war had changed. It was no longer a one-sided invasion. It was no longer humans trying to survive. Now, humans were fighting back and winning. Across the planet, the skies still held alien ships, but they were no longer untouchable. They were no longer feared in the same way, because humans had learned how to fight them, and more importantly, how to hurt them. In command centers around the world, new plans were being created every hour. Fast, flexible, unpredictable. That was the new human strategy. Don't follow patterns, a commander said. Make them guess. And that's exactly what humans did. Attacks came at random times, from unexpected locations, using different methods every time. The Dominion could not keep up. Their systems were designed for order, for logic, for predictable enemies. But humans were anything but predictable. In one battle above the ocean, a group of human drones moved toward a Dominion ship. Simple machines, small, weak on their own. The alien ship ignored them at first. Then suddenly, the drones changed direction, split into multiple groups, created false signals. The Dominion ship reacted too late. A hidden missile followed behind the drones and struck directly through the shield gap. Explosion, fire in the sky. Another alien ship destroyed. On the ground, people watched in awe. Cheers spread across cities. For the first time, humans were not just defending, they were pushing back. In space, the Dominion fleet began to pull away from low orbit. They needed distance. They needed time, something they were quickly losing. Inside the flagship, tension filled the air. Reports came in constantly. Another ship lost. Signal disruption increasing. Targeting systems unstable. Commander Zarek stood still, absorbing every detail. This was no longer a small problem. This was a growing threat. They are adapting faster than we can respond, he said. One officer replied, "We still have superior firepower." Zarek shook his head slightly. Firepower is no longer enough. That truth was becoming impossible to ignore. The High Leader appeared again, his voice sharper than before. Why are we losing ships to primitives? No one answered immediately, because now, they didn't have a simple explanation. Zarek stepped forward. They are not fighting like any species we have seen, he said. They learn from every encounter. They change their strategy constantly. The High Leader's tone turned cold, then stopped them. Zarek looked at the display. Earth, still resisting, still fighting, still evolving. We are trying, he said quietly. But deep inside, he knew. Trying might not be enough anymore. Back on Earth, humanity was preparing for something bigger. Until now, they had been reacting, defending, testing, but now, they were ready to take control of the war. In a hidden global command center, leaders gathered again. This time, their faces were different. Less fear, more focus. We cannot just fight them here, one general said. We need to push them back completely. Another added, if we let them stay above us, this war never ends. A risky idea began to form, a bold one. Attack them in space. Silence filled the room. Then someone said it clearly. Take the fight to them. It sounded impossible. Humans had never fought a war in space like this. Their technology was limited. Their experience, almost none. But they had one advantage. They learned fast. Very fast. Using captured alien parts and human engineering, new hybrid ships were created. Not perfect. Not as advanced. But functional. More importantly, unpredictable. Pilots were trained quickly. Volunteers stepped forward without hesitation. They knew the risk. They knew many would not return. But that didn't stop them. Because now this was not just about survival. It was about freedom. Above Earth, the Dominion fleet noticed something unusual. Human objects. Leaving the atmosphere. Moving toward them. That is impossible, one alien officer said. They cannot operate at this level. But the sensors confirmed it. Human ships were entering space, and they were coming fast. Commander Zarek watched closely. A new feeling grew inside him. Not doubt, not confusion. Something else. Respect. They are coming to us, he said. The first space battle began shortly after. Human ships moved differently. They didn't follow clean formations. They didn't act with perfect order. They moved in chaotic patterns, unpredictable, difficult to track. Dominion ships fired. Some human ships were destroyed instantly. Losses were heavy, but the humans did not retreat. They pushed forward. They adapted in real time. They used debris as cover. They used broken ships as distractions. They turned chaos into strategy. And slowly, they started hitting back. One Dominion ship was damaged, then another. For the first time, the battlefield was no longer controlled by the Dominion. It was contested, equal, unstable, dangerous. Zarek watched the battle in silence. Every second confirmed the truth. "We misjudged them," he said. No one argued, because now everyone could see it. Back on Earth, people looked up at the sky again. But this time it was different. They were not just watching destruction. They were watching their own kind fight back in space. Hope grew stronger than ever. Humanity was no longer trapped. It was rising, fighting on new ground, breaking every limit. And as the battle continued above the planet, one thing became clear. The war had changed completely. The Dominion was no longer the hunter, and humanity was no longer the prey. They were something far more dangerous, a species that refused to lose, a species that learned too fast, a species that could not be controlled. And now, they were coming for victory. The final phase of the war was close, and both sides knew it, because the next battle would decide everything. The final phase of the war had begun. There was no more time, no more waiting. Above Earth, the battlefield was filled with fire, broken ships and drifting debris. Human and Dominion forces faced each other one last time. Both sides knew. This battle would decide everything. On Earth, every nation was connected, every system active, every soldier ready. This was no longer just a war, it was a fight for survival. In the Global Command Center, silence filled the room. Then the final order was given. All units, begin the final operation. Across land, sea, and space, human forces moved at once. Missiles launched, ships advanced, signals spread across every channel. For the first time in history, humanity was fighting as one. Above the planet, the Dominion fleet prepared for impact. Their largest ships moved into position, weapons charged to maximum power. The High Leader's voice echoed through their command systems. And this. Commander Zarek stood at the front of the flagship. His eyes were fixed on the approaching human forces. He could see it clearly now. This was not the same species they had first observed. This was something else, something stronger. "They are ready," he said quietly. The battle began with a flash of light. Human ships rushed forward, not in perfect lines, but in controlled chaos. Some moved fast, some slowed down, some broke formation. To the Dominion, it looked disorganized. But it wasn't. It was strategy. Alien weapons fired. Massive beams cut through space. Explosions filled the darkness. Many human ships were destroyed in seconds. But the rest kept moving. They did not stop. They did not turn back. They adapted, even in the middle of battle. "Focus fire!" a human commander shouted. Signals spread instantly. Targets changed, movements adjusted. In one moment, a group of human ships split apart, drawing fire. In the next, hidden units attacked from behind. The Dominion tried to respond, but they were too slow, too rigid, too predictable. For the first time, they were losing control. Commander Zarek watched everything, every mistake, every loss, and finally he understood the truth. "We were wrong," he said. "They are not weak. They are unstoppable when united." The High Leader ignored him. "Increase power, destroy them all." But it was no longer that simple, because humans had one final plan, a plan built from everything they had learned, every weakness, every pattern, every mistake the Dominion had made. At the center of the battlefield, the Dominion flagship, the heart of their command, the strongest ship. If it fell, the war would end. Human forces began to shift, slowly, carefully, moving toward one target. Zarek noticed immediately. "They are targeting us," he said. "Defensive systems to maximum," an officer replied. Energy shields expanded. Weapons aimed, the flagship became a fortress, but humans were ready. This was the moment. The final strike. A group of human ships moved forward, drawing heavy fire. One by one, they were destroyed, but they did not stop. Behind them, a second wave, then a third. Each wave closer than the last. Each wave learning from the one before. "Why do they keep coming?" an alien officer asked, his voice shaking. Zarek answered quietly, "Because they choose to." That was the difference. Humans were not controlled by orders alone. They fought for each other, for their planet, for their future, and that gave them strength the Dominion could not understand. As the final human squad reached attack range, they activated something new, a signal, a disruption pulse, created from captured alien technology. It hit the flagship directly. For 1 second, the shields flickered, just like before. But this time, that 1 second was enough. "All units, now!" the human commander shouted. Every remaining weapon fired, Missiles, energy blasts, everything, all focused on one point, the flagship. Zarek watched as the attacks came closer. He did not move. He did not run. For the first time in his long life, he felt something unfamiliar. Acceptance. We underestimated them, he said softly. And now, we pay the price. The impact came. A massive explosion tore through the flagship. Systems failed. Energy collapsed. The ship began to break apart. Across the battlefield, Dominion forces froze. Their command was gone. Their control lost. One by one, they began to retreat. The war was over. Above Earth, the sky slowly grew quiet. The remaining alien ships disappeared into the darkness of space. They were not chased. They were not followed. They were defeated. On Earth, silence spread across cities. Then, cheers. People stepped outside. They looked up at the sky, clear for the first time in days. No ships, no fire, just stars. Humanity had survived, but more than that, humanity had won. In the broken remains of the Dominion flagship, Zarek stood alone. Emergency systems flickered. The ship was dying. He looked at Earth one last time, that small blue planet, the one they had called weak. They were never weak, he said quietly. They were waiting. With that final thought, the flagship was destroyed and the Dominion was gone. Back on Earth, the world began to rebuild. Cities would rise again. Lives would continue. But something had changed forever. Humanity had seen the truth. They were not alone in the universe. And more importantly, they were not the weakest. As people looked toward the stars, there was no fear left. Only strength, only pride. Because now the galaxy knew one thing for certain. Never underestimate humans. Because when everything is on the line, they don't break. They rise.